Welcome to the Clinton Donnelly Show, where we explore how taxes and regulations affect our everyday lives. This is Clinton Donnelly, the crypto tax fixer, and I'm glad to be hosting David Canedo with Glassnode. So everybody's a buzz about artificial intelligence, ChatGPT 4. It is creative, it's interesting, and I've played around with the app. It does a lot of things. I have a friend who uses ChatGPT 4 to generate his code for his trade station, which drives how he trades cryptocurrencies. And he said, with ChatGPT, I can just get it generated like in an hour. Whereas before I'd have to hire somebody, it would take weeks and it might be problematic. This is revolutionizing a lot of things that we used to do programming for. And I'm sure your development staff are looking at this closely. Of course, it's tough to find talent that is skilled in doing this. You pretty much have to build it in-house. But what are your thoughts about how ChatGPT could come and affect gain calculation products?
I'm sorry, can you tell me what is ChatGPT? What is that thing?
ChatGPT is a language for doing artificial intelligence.
Totally, 100% a joke because you cannot go around not seeing what ChatGPT is today, especially if you work in crypto or in tech. I love the question because obviously right now, I don't know what your perception is, but from where I'm standing, it seems to me like AI is replacing blockchain as the new hottest and trendiest thing. Everybody wants to have an AI company. Look at AI cryptos. I mean, they were pumping a lot more. I haven't checked the market lately. The excitement seems to have moved from blockchain to AI. Not to say blockchain is dead. There's a lot of use cases in blockchain still, but AI is a much bigger use case because it's a similar development as bringing the internet, making information widely available to everyone. Now information is scalable to anyone. So to me, I think the AI is by far the most disrupting development we've seen in technology in a while because it's allowing people to scale themselves. Think about the knowledge that Clinton has. Did you ever put anything on the web, Clinton? Then that means that ChatGPT has probably been trained with your knowledge. So now you can scale Clinton, you can scale the doctors, you can scale a doctor in the US, and the same information can be gotten by a doctor anywhere in the world. So scaling human knowledge, to me, that's amazing. And with that, you bet we are looking into tools like AI, ChatGPT. How can we use this more every single day in our company? At the end of the day, do these AI tools, do they have the potential to replace a lot of our jobs? Yes. Are they going to replace our jobs tomorrow? Definitely not. They're not there yet. I would say based on what I've used ChatGPT for, and I've used it for a lot of different tasks. So it's been my chef, it's been my doctor, it's been my writer, it's been my intern, everything. Based on what I've used it, I would say it's an amazing intern today. But that's it. You still need a set of human eyes to take a look, make sure that everything is coherent, and make sure that everything is correct. With that, though, you would have to be an idiot to not use AI right now and not try to think how can you leverage your skills with AI. Because at the end of the day, if you know how to use ChatGPT, if you know how to use these tools, you can be 1,000x more productive. Why? Because instead of having to go out and Google a lot of information, you can get a lot of information already done. You can get the piece of writing that you wanted to do. There's a lot of back and forth that you have to interact with and kind of massage the words, just get the right outcome. It's still early in technology. I mean, how long have we had ChatGPT? Like five months, I want to say right now. Point being, we're 100% looking at this for a lot of different parts in the company. I can tell you anything that I'm doing today, I'm asking the question, is there a better way to do this with AI? And we even have a team that is looking into how to take these AI tools, not only develop our own AIs in-house to do a lot of the things that we spoke about, whether it's adding more automation to DeFi, helping more with perhaps customer support questions, things like that. We're definitely exploring a lot of these potentials with AI right now. And again, every single part of my day, I'm asking, how can I do this with AI? I tried to see if an AI would do this interview for me, but I couldn't figure that one out yet. So for now, this is still real me.
That's another app. While you were talking, I was thinking I could put on my website, I could replace my little chat function with me answering people's questions. Like
That's a crazy thing. I was watching an interview with Raul Paul a couple of weeks ago, and they're basically talking about that exact thing, that we're not that far away to a world in which You can have a digital version of Clinton talking to 1,000 different people at the same time, having that conversation be very specific to the different person you're talking to.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk to my development team, see if they can explore this fun dimension. One of the other big things that's happening is the whole CBDC realm. This is
Oh, yes.
this is a hot topic, and we're short on details. I have to imagine, I was thinking about this, and they're saying the US is going to announce their CBDC. I have to imagine it's going to be a test net type of thing, so that all the banks and everybody can test their interfaces, and not a full release of it. But still, I mean, even with CBDCs, there's going to be trading in the future. They could go from a CBDC to buying a Bitcoin and vice versa. And there's got to be some tax impacts for you. Any thoughts that you have about how integration of CBDC into the tax work that you guys do?
Oh, 100%. So I think the whole CBDC space is very interesting when you think about it, especially when you think about it from the crypto community. And the reason I say that is because, especially with the Glassnode brand, a very big Bitcoin audience. And as we know, a lot of the crypto community got started as not your keys, not your crypto. We want to do this thing that's really separate from governments. Not saying it's necessarily the case with 100% of crypto investors, but there's still a narrative of that type. I want to say it's Chamath that said, buy Bitcoin as schmuck insurance. So point being, you still have that use case out there. Now, CBDCs, one of the interesting challenges they present is a lot of people, and rightfully so, they have a lot of concerns over privacy, especially in more authoritarian regimes like in China, the digital yuan. What's going to happen if they say, hey, here's an airdrop, by the way, you got to spend it by this time on this, otherwise you lose it. Or imagine you're driving, I don't know, your Tesla or something, and you speed a little too fast. And now the computer sends your ticket automatically. You get a ticket automatically issued, automatically withdrawn from your balance. I mean, this could, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. So one of the biggest concerns that I'm seeing just in general from the crypto community is the privacy concerns. What's going to happen with CBDCs? From a data standpoint, though, you're 100% right. I think CBDCs are going to be as disrupting for the financial world, almost as AI. And we just got done saying that AI, I think, is going to be the most disrupting technology. But now let's talk about CBDCs. Why is that so disrupting? I mean, Clinton, think about everything that we do today with money. Money is already today mostly ones and zeros. How much cash gets transacted? That's minimal, really. If you go to the market and you're buying from a vendor, maybe you use cash at that point, but you don't use a lot of cash in this day and age. Companies' financials, people's transactions, their financial lives are mostly electronic. Okay, if we move that all over to CBDCs, what other possibilities does that open up? We already have XBRL financial statement, but what about, real-time tax returns, real-time sales and use tax returns, a lot of different things that could get opened up by money becoming digital. So I guess the long and short of it is there's a lot of use cases, a lot of things that we should be exploring as a company, and we are having these discussions and behind closed doors. To what extent we're going to get involved and support them, I cannot give a good answer yet because we're still exploring that and there's a lot of different considerations. I'm going to turn this around on you a little bit since obviously I'm on the Glassnode Accointing side, but you're actively working with more taxpayers today. I left that a couple of years ago to join this company. So I'm curious to see how is tax season going for you, and specifically a couple of questions that I have, like, are you extending a lot of your clients? You had clients that have lost a lot of funds in FTX, Celsius, BlockFi.
Yes. This year, we still have a lot of clients that are high frequency traders that even in a down market, they're making profit because of their high frequency methods. They're not really into investing as much as scalping. And those people still have big challenges. A lot of them are NFT and DeFi. Most people who in 2022 lost money, some lost a lot. So those people have been procrastinating. The procrastination level is quite high. One of the frustrations, I mean, most of our clients pay a lot of money to have us do the manual calculation of their gains. We use tools like Accointing. And a lot of people lost money. So a lot of people are saying, gee, I didn't do as many trades last year. And secondly, I lost money. So I'm really not sure how much money I want to spend on calculating a number that's a negative number if I can only claim a $3,000 total capital loss. Do I want to spend 5,000 to calculate that I lost 3,000? So we say, yeah, I understand what you're talking about. For some of these people, especially if they've had big losses, we just say, hey, look, we can just do an estimate. We basically say, how much do you think you lost? And they'll say, well, I think I lost 200,000, in realized gain. I say, all right, well, we'll just put down 200,000 as your loss. You only get to claim 3,000 of it, and the rest of it's carryover. And then next year, we can do the gain calculation for last year and this year together. That way we can adjust it and revise it. When you're audited, you're not audited on a capital loss carryover until you use it. So you could put down you had $1 million in loss, but since you're only claiming a $3,000 loss, the IRS is not going to audit that until you actually use it and apply it. I've had this happen to a client. That's an approach we're doing to help people not increase the pain that they're having. Mm-hmm. We had people who, despite my best advice, I told them all, a lot of people the year before were like, hey, I'm making lots of money on the Anchor protocol here with my Luna, and I'm making 14%. How long can I go before I pay the IRS? I say, well, at least keep it in a stable coin, which, UST was, but just be careful because you're gambling with your tax money. And lo and behold, there's a lot of things that happened in the stablecoin market. Luna went down, UST, Celsius. A lot of people locked up their assets in stablecoins with Celsius, BlockFi, some people with FTX and the FTT coin. A lot of people had pain. I had one person who lost $1 million on Luna and then lost $1 million in Celsius, and they hadn't paid their taxes yet. So they're in a real pickle to pay that. So this is just problematic. A lot of people are experiencing that. We do have an ability with the tax code to set up an installment agreement if your debt is less than $250,000, which is very attractive. You don't have to disclose your cryptos. So we're doing that for a lot of people who are basically saying, let's finance this through an installment agreement, and then when the bull market comes back up, then I can pay it off. All right. Well, that's a gambler's risk. It seems to me like a reasonable risk, but it's still a risk. Luna, Celsius, BlockFi, FTX, these are all eligible for the Ponzi scam treatment, the Bernie Madoff treatment. So in 2009-20, it's a revenue procedure. We're doing that. We're pretty aggressive about using that. It allows basically, if there's any sort of recovery opportunity, like on Celsius and BlockFi, there may be a recovery opportunity. You can claim a 75% itemized deduction, which is really quite cool. An itemized deduction, because you don't have that $3,000 capital loss limitation. It goes right against your itemized deduction. I was talking to a couple last night. They had a separate type of scam. It was just a fraud, a Ponzi scam. They had some documentation on it, and they had some websites to prove it, so they could claim the safe harbor. They added $60,000 to their itemized deductions. That takes a lot of the pain off of a sad loss. So that is a big factor for a lot of people this past year.
I'm glad that you spoke about the fact that a lot of people have had big losses. And I mean, as we know, that's not easy to put together, especially if you're trading in 10 different exchanges, if you're using 5 different blockchains, maybe sometimes 20 different wallets, and you're deep into DeFi. I mean, you know how long it can take. And I definitely appreciate the fact that, well, it doesn't take zero time, but at the same time, it's very difficult for anybody in crypto justifying paying $5,000, whatever the fee may be, when you already know that you lost money. Just economically justifying that is difficult right now. Hopefully the market is going to turn, but that's definitely always a challenge.
I would just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you very much, David. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, tweet. I appreciate every subscriber. If you make a comment or have a question, please DM me on Twitter at CryptoTaxFixer, or leave a question on YouTube, and I respond to all of those. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And as always, taxes are sexy.
The Clinton Donnelly Show, where we explore how taxation and regulations of cryptocurrencies affect your daily life as an investor. Clinton has a law degree in international financial regulation. He is an enrolled agent and certified as a cryptocurrency anti-financial crime specialist. He has clients in 71 countries. He is one of the top experts in crypto taxation in the US. This show is sponsored by CryptoTaxAudit.com, the income tax experts for US crypto investors. Are you frustrated with using online crypto tax services to calculate capital gains? Are you a high-frequency trader, DeFi, NFT, play-to-earn, or whale investor? Nothing is too complicated for the experts at CryptoTaxAudit.com. Are you frustrated that your accountant doesn't understand crypto taxes? Crypto Tax Audit uses a proven, bulletproof crypto tax return methodology to prepare a tax return that doesn't attract the attention of the IRS. Crypto Tax Audit also offers an exclusive audit defense membership service. It's like car insurance for your tax return. If your return gets selected for an audit of crypto reporting, they will defend you at no additional charge for the entire life of the audit. No one offers anything like audit defense membership. Go to CryptoTaxAudit.com to learn more and schedule a private tax consultation now. The opinions expressed in this show are not legal advice. Tax and regulations are complicated. Your situation is unique, so you should always consult a tax professional.